Evening, and what a pleasure it was to be able to get some cricket here at Old Trafford. The third of these Cornhill Test matches between England and the West Indies, and after all the rain in the southern part of the country, it was very nice to see the two teams out on the field. The England side, Chris Old had been left out of the nominated 12 players, and Graham Dilley had been brought into the side. A little bit of extra pace there. The selectors gauging, I think quite correctly, that there wouldn't be a great deal of movement off the seam for Chris Old, nor in the air in the conditions. And West Indies, they'd left out Colin Croft and brought in Malcolm Marshall. No change there. Derek Parry, who was in their 12, hadn't managed to get himself a game, and he might have to wait until he gets back to the West Indies. So Clive Lloyd won the toss and put England into bat on a pitch that looked to me as though it was just everyone's ideal of a batsman's paradise. We join play now with the score at 3 for no wicket. It's in the 5th over of play. Andy Roberts is bowling, Graham Gooch on strike, and Mike Smith is with me in the commentary box. Oh, must be close. Yes, I'm afraid that was as plumb as anything you'll see. And Andy Roberts, having been so wayward in direction, has now slipped in for the first wicket, taking Graham Gooch, LBW. 3 for 1 wicket, and that really is a crushing blow for England. Oh, good shot. Away off the mark, and down a deep fine leg right off home. Just the single to Brian Rose. And Boycott's away. After 40 minutes, and in the 9th over of the innings, Jeff Boycott is off the mark.
The wicket doesn't have much pace, but you have two very fast West Indian bowlers, and yet again England are having to fight for their runs.
Thank you, Mike. And Boycott getting a nice full toss there, clipping it through mid-on for the first boundary of the morning. Roberts again to Boycott. And that's in the air. Oh dear, dear. A very simple catch, and Boycott goes. Just lift it slightly over length, and the joyous West Indians have struck twice here now this morning. Boycott following Gooch, England 18 for 2, and the Yorkshireman gone for just 5. So Wayne Larkins nicely away. There'll be a couple of runs in this at least. And in fact, very good run in between these two. They're making 3 out of it. That's through the gap. No third man. Richards giving chase. He's got the speed to stop it. Well, he hasn't. He'll be very cross with that. Absolutely no reason there why he shouldn't have picked that up inside the fence. Thought he'd just put the hand down enough to stop it rolling over, but just touched the ropes. And he's gone, the fingers up. Just a slight hesitation there for a minute that Garner strikes and Larkins goes, and England in trouble now at 35 for 3, Larkins 11, LBW to Garner. Over-pitch ball, playing across it, looking to hit it through the onside. See the right leg going back, followed by the left, and trying to work it through the onside. And think about leg and middle stump that would have hit. So Gutting facing Roberts. That's short, hooked away nicely, a confident shot by Mike Gutting. So he's away with a single to his name.
That's the first ball of Malcolm Marshall's spell, and dealt with in splendid fashion by Brian Rose. Strong on the drive. last gully, and no third man means 4 runs. They really are keen on this non-third man field placing. That 4 brings up the half century for England for the loss of 3 wickets. The men out: Boycott 5, Gooch 2, and Larkins 11, 51 for 3. Shot. Just about Rose's best shot this morning. Lovely stroke that away through extra cover off the back foot. Good a stroke as the one he just played off Garner. Nowhere in the world Desmond Haynes can cut that off. In fact, it was accelerating the further it went. You don't see that happen very often. He's already misfielded one today, Viv Richards, and now he's put down a chance. Normally one of the most brilliant catches in the game. That was fairly sharp.
Yes, there's bounce from this one. And Richards, it's gone absolutely clean to him. Nice catching height. And he's really not clutched onto that one at all.
That'll be 4 more. Misfield there by Michael Holding. Just behind square, and Andy Roberts couldn't get across fast enough. 50 partnership up between Rose and Gatting, 45 minutes. Splendidly entertaining stuff. Great stroke. Well, it's always nice to see someone who just hits it when it's there and doesn't worry too much about reputations. What a nice way to bring up the luncheon interval. A lovely stroke away through the offside. And there's Brian Rose's 50 against West Indies in this 3rd Cornhill Test match. A great morning. Certainly for Brian Rose. England 95 for 3 after 27 overs. My word, that was a good knock. That's a great performance by Brian Rose up to the luncheon interval. 51 not out. Larkins, Boycott and Gooch, the 3 men dismissed. And Gatting, in partnership with Rose, has done extremely well up to that point. 95 for 3 and 4 more added up to the 3rd over after lunch. Total then 99 for 3. Rose is on strike. He's still 51, and Marshall is coming into bowl to him. Tony Cozier is in the commentary box now with Jim Laker.
That's a delightful shot through mid-wicket. Again, beautiful piece of timing by the left-hander. And that's his 7th boundary. And the cheers, of course, at the same time for the 100 coming up. Brian Rose is 55, coming out of 103 for 3. A delightfully timed shot off his legs. That's struck nicely off the back foot. Haynes giving chase. He's going to be hard pushed to cut it off, but he's going to it. It's just beaten him. Fine shot off the back foot there by Gatting. Nicely in position.
Like Gatting and Malcolm Marshall first confronted each other in a junior test match in the West Indies, between England and the West Indies in Port of Spain back in 1976. Like Gatting, in common with a number of promising county players who have developed, went on that tour, and Malcolm Marshall played for the West Indies junior team then.
And that's edged and he's dropped. So let off for the 2nd time. Gattin, who was missed earlier by Richards in the slips. And a very definite chance there to Greenwich.
I get the impression since lunch that Brian Rose has become a little bit careless. He's played what West Indians refer to as getting out shots more than once, and that certainly was one. It was very wide of the off stump. Seems just to be going through a bad patch.
And it's another good shot by Rose. Lovely flick off the legs there for 4 runs. Improved beyond any doubt at all how much his leg side play has improved over the last couple of years.
He's played that shot so often and so well today, and that boundary would have been, I reckon, his 4th in that area. And
that time is gone. Richards made a mistake first up, but not the second time. And Marshall has struck. The 4th wicket goes down at 126. It was well bowled by Malcolm Marshall. And a brave little innings by Mike Gatting, 33. He made just double that score to Brian Rose, 66. 126 for 4 now. Four runs. It's a good shot. It's not quite the place to bowl at him. Short, outside off stump. Certainly not without a third man. And there's a good one. That's well bowled by Marshall. It's a great little spell from him. He's picked up both Gatting and Rose now. And West Indies right back in the game. 131 for 5 now, England. For Brian Rose, that's a sad moment, but my word, he did play well. 70 in this recall to the Test match arena, and he played some lovely strokes. Real pleasure to watch him back. Oh, what a little spell this is. Malcolm Marshall, 3 wickets, Gatting, Rose, and now Willie bowled behind his pads. And that is disaster for Peter Willey. He'll be distraught at that, and the England innings suddenly in tatters. Bertham's off the mark now. Knots away. Just a couple there to him, with Andy Roberts doing the fielding.
And trouble here. Alan Knott has to go, run out. Another tragedy for England. Botham called for the run. Alan Knott had never set off, and when he set off, far too late. It only required an accurate throw, and a disappointment here for Alan Knott. Never really looked in touch, but very sad to see anybody depart in a manner like that. And that's out too, and Garner's strike. Botham goes, caught behind. Little nick, all kinds of trouble here for England. Botham crashing for 8, 142 for 8, the England score. 142 for 8 with just Willis to come in. All this has happened in the last 5 minutes with the departure from the field also of Clive Lloyd. 2 substitutes out there now. Garner to Dillier, and he's bowled him all over the place. So Dillier in and out. A first ball, a 142 for 9. Dillier bowled Garner naught. So hat-trick ball for Ghana. They're firmly right in the middle of the bat. The long left leg of Bob Willis being pushed far down the wicket. And there's a nice full toss on the leg stump, and Bob Willis this time has made the most of it. Good shot, pushed away square on the leg side for 4 runs. So the 150 finally comes up for England, thanks to that nice little shot there of Bob Willis. Oh, and that's a beautiful ball, and that wraps it up nicely for England. Roberts takes another wicket. It drifted away, caught the outside edge, and England all out for 150.
I'm afraid one can only agree that that is a desperately disappointing performance from that lineup of England batsmen. The 3 men brought in, the 3 young fellows, Rose, Larkins and Gatting, the only ones into double figures. Rose, the top score, 70, a fine innings that. Larkins was going along all right when dismissed by Ghana, and Gatting, 33, second top score. But 150, my word, no side should have been bowled out for that figure on what seemed to me to be a perfect batting strip. The men responsible for bowling out England: Roberts 3 for 23, Garner 3 for 34, Marshall 3 for 36, and Michael Holding, not to forget him, no wicket for 46 in 14 overs, and he was extremely unlucky. We pick up play now in the West Indies innings. 3 overs have gone. The score's 4 without loss. Here's Bob Willis. He's coming in from the Stratford end to bowl to Desmond Haynes, and in the commentary box, Ted Dexter and Jim Maker.
And yes, he's gone, he's caught behind. So Bob Willis striking the first blow for England, as he's done many, many times. I suppose Desmond Haynes was due to miss out. He's missed out all right today, going to a catch by not behind, and West Indies are 4 for 1, with Haynes out for just a single. And no half measures about that. Not for the first time, he's off the mark with a crashing 4 through mid-off. Really is the master batsman of modern times here.
That's a lovely shot. Oh, that was a good stroke, straight out of any of the really good textbooks. And I'm not sure, but I've just got a feeling there's a little bit of, not aggro, but a little bit of feeling going on out there between Richards and Bob Willis. Because when he hit him for 4 last over, he stood there and had a good, long, hard look at him. And so he did then when he smashed him away through the covers. The timing there was absolutely superb. And a good catch. Nice piece of cricket, that. Good diving catch going forward. Greenidge has caught Larkins, bowled Dilly. Haynes out for 1. Greenidge without scoring. Richards is 20 out of 25. There are 4 extras. And here's Dilly to Backus. Oh, what a marvellous piece of cricket. First ball, Dilly's on the hat-trick. Lovely piece of cricket there from Ian Botham.
We said the crowd were getting a little bit excited. When we see this on the replay, we'll see what a truly magnificent catch it was.
He's quite an extraordinary cricketer, Ian Botham, because I'm quite certain he wasn't ready for that. He's just about to tuck his sweater in or sort out something with his hips. And instead of that, he finds himself going away to his right to take a superb catch. The flurry of excitement has brought in Alvin Kalecharan. It's also brought in 4 slips and a gully. Here's Dilly again. And safely negotiated by Kalecharan, a hat-trick. Well bowled, young fella. There's a lot of fans, not all that much younger than Graham Dilly, cheering on his efforts there. 3 overs, 2 maidens, and he has 2 for 1. Didn't quite time that one as well as some of the other strokes. Only 2 runs there. Wasn't very meant it, but it's still gone for 4. Well, it's all fun and games out there with Richards and Willis having a little dash at one another, and Richards carving Willis all over the park. And between them, Dilly and Willis having picked up 3 wickets.
That's another no ball. And it's certainly made Viv hobble around. Bat's flung down, he's sat down. I think it's pinched a nerve. It's going to catch him right at the knee, and he's in a lot of trouble at the moment. It's going to make him hobble around for a while, but I think it's one of those things that he possibly run off in the space of a few minutes.
In fact, Vivian Richards didn't really need to run it off, because he picked up just 2 more runs to take the total on to 38 for 3, and his own personal score to an unbeaten 32 when the umpires took the players off because of bad light. Sad that, because it was most entertaining and very exciting with Dilly and Willis boring in and Richards playing so many great shots. The England bowlers, well, one of them was successful, Bob Willis, with 1 wicket and 32 runs against his name. Graham Dilly 2 for 1 in 4 overs, 3 maidens. And I did wonder, watching Willis coming into bowl to Vivian Richards and the way Richards treated him, if there might have been a little bit of aggro out there. Perhaps it was just the normal type aggro between top-class batsmen and top-class bowlers. At any rate, it all made for an interesting afternoon. Wonderful entertainment for the crowd. And England, having been bowled out, and very well bowled out by the West Indies for 150, got themselves back into the game. The man, I believe, standing between them and a chance of winning this game, Vivian Richards, who's on 32 not out. Have a look at this shot now, one right out of the textbooks, and if he can produce a few more of these tomorrow, it'll be to the detriment of England's chances, but very much to the benefit of those at the ground and watching on television. Good night. Good evening. A crucial day in this Cornhill Test Series. This match here at Old Trafford, nicely poised on the second morning. Lots of dark and rather nasty-looking clouds around, I'm afraid, and West Indies starting off at 38 for 3, play having been delayed yesterday afternoon. The not-out batsmen overnight were Vivian Richards and Alvin Kalecharan. We pick up play now with no addition to the score. Kalecharan is still not off the mark. Graham Dilly is coming in to bowl to him, and in the commentary box we have Tony Cozier and Jim Laker.
And so Kalecharan off the mark. No third man, that'll be 4 runs. Just squeezing it through that gap between 4th slip and gully. That's short, pulled away just wide of Larkins, and it's 4 more. So a bright start for Alvin Kalecharan. Willis with quite a stiff breeze behind him now. And that's racing away, no third man. It's yet another boundary being added to Viv Richards' total. Quite a remarkable start to the innings. 50 coming up at the start of the 11th over here. And 36 of those now to Viv Richards.
could almost be a replay of yesterday evening, with that front foot going out to the ball, and a glorious shot. 4 more to Richards. The head shaking there is probably because he didn't get the middle of the bat on that one. And it may also have jarred that spot where he was hit yesterday. Got him again. It was very dangerous when Viv Richards started to limp. He limped twice badly in Australia last year. 130 and 160. That was a very, very good shot. He waited for that. Got away off the middle of the bat. Four more. There's no third man there. One of the little luxuries captains in the modern day seem to provide for batsmen. Dilley has done all his bowling from the Warwick Road end. Just wondering if both of them may be going to switch him here to have the breeze at his back. He's bowled with plenty of pace so far in this West Indian innings. Bad luck. Great try. That would have been one of the catches of the season. Bad luck for Wayne Larkins and for Botham. It's to be Graham Dilley from the Stretford end. Richards is taking strike. That's interesting. First ball, Dilley has bowled at Richards, and it was a little beauty.
That should please more than the selectors, Richie, when you see a young England fast bowler sending the keeper up high and right to take a delivery.
It's a little bit airy-fairy from Viv Richards. Quite behind the line of that. Left knee's taking quite a beating out there. Richards is on 46, and suddenly he's being faced with bowling that seems to me to be a yard quicker than anything he's seen so far in this innings. Good over. Very good over from Graham Dilley, his first with the breeze. He's now bowled 7 overs, 4 maidens, and taken 2 for 11. And he's gone this time. Calichuran doesn't bother waiting, and Dickie Bird doesn't bother giving him out. Botham has struck, and the 4th wicket goes down at 67, and that's rather good for England. Get rid of Calichuran that cheaply from a ball so wide of the stumps. Could not bowl Botham 13.
And Alwyn, who's not had a very good year, it's there to hit, but unfortunately he gets this thin edge to be caught behind.
It's cleverly bowled. But Lloyd is still off the mark. Both of them there going wide on the return crease, wide on the bowling crease, and out towards the return crease. Still bowling the outswinger, or to the left-hander, the one that comes in from outside the off stump. signalled. .50 to Viv Richards. This morning, not always with the ball finding the exact middle of the bat, but a delightful innings nonetheless. 48 balls he's faced, and he's hit 10 fours, and he's been in only 64 minutes. Lloyd's favourite strokes away through mid-wicket. Some very good timing there. Did it all Jeff Boycott's speed. Cut off that boundary, Lloyd still picked up 3. Good move in the field, Jeff Boycott. 39 years of age, but there aren't too many fitter cricketers around. No third man again. Too many captains around in my day, Mike, who were kind enough to leave out the third man from their field placings.
This is a position that the West Indies seem to get away with, Richie. It's quite incredible with 4 fast bowlers, and they consistently don't have a third man. As you say, when in the years that I played, it was almost one of the first positions that a fast bowler wanted, unless he'd got 4 men in the ring. He seemed to hate this 4 off the edge.
Well, Dilly be disappointed at that. Leg byes to go onto the total. There's not much doubt in my mind that he's trying to bowl Clive Lloyd behind his pads. Lloyd has this movement shuffling across the batting crease. Dilly's been firing it in there around about leg stump every time the left-hander gets up there. Here's Ian Botham.
Perfect line just outside off stump, left him off the wicket. And Viv Richards was very close to getting a snick to Alan Knott.
Ian Botham in his 4th over here this morning. It's good to see him bouncing into the wicket once again. First time, I think, we've seen that this year. Very nearly dragged that on. And looks a completely different bowler here. Restored to fully fitness. Wasn't the ball of fact. A little bit close for him to try that chop shot, even for the great Richards. A limited amount of test match cricket. As you can see, this is only his 3rd game. And just 5 wickets today. 2 of them have come so far in this innings, and I think this is certainly the best that I personally have seen Graham Dilly bowl, be it a test match or a county match. He's bowled exceedingly well here to date. Good length, good line. Seems to have ironed out the run. Good run to the wicket. Just still a little chest on, but certainly a vast improvement. Botham has gone on to 147 wickets with that one of Kelly Turan. Remarkable performance, only 28 matches, 147 wickets. If he plays till 35, goodness knows how many he's going to notch. Bob Willis around that boundary there. It's 2 runs to Lloyd. Consistency with which he's taken these wickets, of course, is quite surprising. 5 wickets in an innings, no less than 14 times. 10 wickets in a match on the 3 occasions, and 8 for 34 his best performance. Clive Lloyd finding those gaps in the onside quite nicely. Will Pick up a brace of twos in this over. Players off for around 40 minutes here this morning when it really looked very miserable and dark. But, plenty of cloud around, but it's brightened up considerably. And certainly at the moment, shouldn't be any problem at all with the light. Just the one wicket to go down this morning. Kelly Jerome caught not bowled Botham for 13. Murray, Roberts, Garner, Marshall and Holding. And 91 for 4 with Bob Willis coming back into the attack. Really savaged by Richards earlier in this innings. And he's off to him again. So announced the arrival by crashing him through the offside for 4.
Well, here's Bob Willis bowling way wide of Richards off stump again. And I can't think that that's good tactics to a player of Richards' power. Richards very strong on the leg side, of course. But you can always put fielders to the strength of a batsman. But here we've got a split field, 4-5, and Richards is simply making hay.
And coming to the office for more. It's a surprising bowling change this. It's gone on to 99. And Richards taken such a great liking to Bob Willis in this innings. But poor old Bob's coming back for more punishment here. And England's premier quick bowler reduced now to a single slip and extra covers. And just as well, the third man is there. It's 1 run, 3 figures coming up for West Indies. And we're coming up in the remarkably quick time of 23 overs. And the reason it's come up so rapidly, of course, is the fact that Richards now has made 65 of that 100. So poor old Bob Willis, 8 overs, 1 for 53. I think just about all those runs have come from the bat of Viv Richards. In fact, it's quite unusual. Wendy Wimbush just tells me that all 53 runs have come from Bob Willis's bowling, have been struck by Richards. So he's only taken 12 off the other England bowlers to date. A chance to add a few more now as he faces Ian Botham. And he's bowled him all over the place. Tremendous performances by Botham and a critical blow. Couldn't have come at a better time. The end of a magnificent innings there from Viv Richards. And one man out there, Bob Willis, will be so relieved to see the back of him. So Botham has done it yet again for England. And West Indies now 100 for 5 with Richards going for 65. The leg stump being flattened, knocked right out of the ground. And I'm quite sure a lot of that applause from the England players is in relief, as well as acknowledging yet another fine half-century. Well, that certainly has levelled out this game. It's a very even keel now, and England yet again indebted to their bowlers. Good diving sprawl in the end by Dilly out there. It meant that Murray just got a single. So he's away. That's a short one. Bob Willis never picked that up. It's often very difficult down on that boundary. Even brings a smile from both of Bob. Anybody's fielded down at long leg on this ground knows the ball goes into the crowd. It's often very difficult to sight to begin with. And That's edged away this time. Very lucky 4 runs for Clive Lloyd. Could really have gone anywhere. 3 slips and a gully awaiting, but it missed the lot. And that's through mid-off. Very straight. Brian Rose giving chase. Just about pull that up. See the bit of greasy turf too down there. That's that steady little bit of drizzle we've had just lately.
For a great morning that for England, and in particular for Ian Botham. 2 wickets there. The prize wicket of Vivian Richards for 65. Alvin Cullich around for 13. But I thought the best bowling of the morning came from Graham Dilley. He really has been a surprise packet here. A fine performance from him. And sadly for England anyway, 228 minutes of play lost then. The players weren't able to come back until late in the afternoon. And that was very, very sad for the good crowd present who really were cheering on Ian Botham and his men. We pick up play now with 5 runs added after the resumption. It's the 2nd over. Ian Botham is coming in to bowl to Derek Murray. And in the commentary box, Ted Dexter and Jim Laker.
Ian Botham very much back in the old routine here today. That's a nice forcing shot off the back foot. Couple of runs in there for Derek Murray. Well, not the most distinguished of shots there from Derek Murray, never ever in line. But picks up 4 runs for it. A solid average there, 42.76. Murray's gone on to 14. It's a full toss this time from Dilley. Puts it away through the offside. And some enthusiastic running there by 3 of the England men. It was Brian Rose in the end who fired it in. It takes the score on to 151, 152 and gives West Indies lead here on first innings. And he's bowled him with a beauty. Well, as good a ball as he's let loose all day there from Ian Botham. Finally got through this pretty impregnable defence here of Derek Murray. And that wicket for England couldn't have come at a better time because these two were looking quite a formidable partnership. 154 for 6. Comfortable single sees Malcolm Marshall off the mark. Slightly more defensive now for Lloyd. Just the 2 slips remaining. And dug that one in again. Made Clive Lloyd hurry. So Graham Dilley taking his sweater after a really admirable spell of bowling. 16 overs in all, 2 for 32. And could very easily have added a couple more wickets to his haul here today. Bob Willis, of course, will come back with the aid of this stiff breeze. The idea being to keep the quicker bowlers going at this end with the breeze behind them. And I'm sure Big Bob will be looking for some compensation. Oh, Marshall taking a leaf out of Richards, but hammering Bob Willis. Straight for 4. Blooded swing of the bat, fine shot.
Botham now to Clive Lloyd. Oh, what a good attempt that was, and what a great catch it would have been. A couple of great efforts in the field out there from the England players. Wayne Larkins missed a very difficult one, and now Brian Rose has put down Clive Lloyd. But would have been an absolute blinder. And around the wicket now, Bob Willis with Lloyd on 49. And there's the half-century for the West Indian captain. Dropped a short time ago by Brian Rose at cover, a most difficult chance. And here he is halfway towards his ambition of striking 100 in this his final appearance in a test at Old Trafford. His 50 came up in 81 balls and included 4 boundaries. Good shot again. It's 2 good boundaries this over by Marshall, and applause from Clive Lloyd. There's a lovely stroke. 2 slightly over-pitched balls there. This, the last ball of the over. Although, in fact, in the end, Marshall had to play a little bit out the pitch of it. But he certainly got it away right off the middle. Willis to Lloyd. It's a little ambitious. Willis's pace has dropped a bit this afternoon. Clive Lloyd was just waiting there for that short pitch delivery coming from around the wicket. 46 ahead, Clive Lloyd's team, and the skipper still there in this delightful Old Trafford sunshine. What a good shot. There's a no ball. Bob Willis has bowled 11 no balls now. And there's the 200 up for West Indies, 50 ahead. And every run made, it makes it a little more difficult for England. And this will be a surprise for everyone, including Dickie Bird at the bowler's end. We're going to see a spin bowler in action in this Old Trafford Test match. It's Embury to bowl to Malcolm Marshall, who's on 50. Well caught. And well bowled, Graham Dilley. Gooch caught him at first slip. Marshall's gone for 18, 209 for 7. And a spirited effort from Graham Dilley here today. He's going away to his right-hand side, and delighted both them alongside Gooch there. His first ball now from Graham Dilley. It's well bowled, good Yorker, even though Roberts does get off the mark. Should have been. John Embury, bad luck for him, and Graham Gooch, I sense that may have come a little slower than Gooch anticipated. Round the wicket, Embury. Clear of Alan Knott. And Graham Gooch put it down. And you just can't afford to give Clive Lloyd 2 chances there. I think perhaps Alan Knott, in moving fractionally to his left there, might have put Graham Gooch off, but that was a bad miss and one that England can ill afford. 4 more runs added towards the end there to make it 219 for 7, with Andy Roberts remaining 4 not out. A lead of 69 for the West Indies and 3 wickets in hand. And the England bowling today, quite excellent, I thought. Willis up the top there, took some hammer from Richards and then from Clive Lloyd. But Dilley was most impressive. 20 overs, 6 maidens, 3 for 35. Both of them bowled extremely well. The first time he's bent his back, or been able to bend his back this summer. 16 overs, 4 maidens, 3 for 53. And what a good striking rate there's been so far in this Cornhill Test match. The bowling rates mightn't be all that great at 11 and 13, but England scored at 51 runs per 100 balls when they batted for their 150. West Indies have scored 65.17 runs per 100 balls, and when you think that the normal scoring rate in Test matches is something around 42, 43, And that really is marvellous entertainment for the people at Old Trafford, and also we hope for television viewers at home in the warmth of their living rooms. Well, tomorrow, the West Indies, with their 69-run lead, 3 wickets there, have Clive Lloyd as the man who can swing this match for them, as he did against Australia in Adelaide in what was his final test in Australia. He batted magnificently there, making a century, and he's looking for another 21 runs to make his first century at Old Trafford. A marvellous player, and if he plays any more... Never thought I'd be so pleased to see a little bit of sunshine, and the fourth morning of this Cornhill Test match at Old Trafford produced that. A great sight for all the spectators here, and I suppose for everyone watching their television sets at home. The Saturday evening score, West Indies 219 for 7. They started off at that this morning. We pick up play now in the 6th over. 7 runs are added, 226 for 7. Here's the England captain, Ian Botham, bowling to his counterpart, Clive Lloyd, and in the commentary box we have Mike Smith and Jim Laker.
It's the one he's been looking for. Didn't quite time that one. And probably believes that the slow outfield robbed him of another run. He's picked up 3 for it. And no doubt there, glorious square cut. It's the first time he's really middled one this morning. With all the power that we know Clive Lloyd can put into his shots. Well, not for the first time this morning, Andy Roberts had a little fiddle there outside the off stump. Indeed, his off-spinner Embry was going to come on and take over from Dilly. So the field finally set for Embry to bowl to Lloyd with a deep square leg under a long off. But apart, it's a fairly orthodox field. And the first one pitching outside the leg stump. Quite sure yet whether that was off the pad or he got an edge to it. In fact, neither. It's a plain, straightforward bye signal there. Just one man away at deep square and mid-wicket to mid-on. Was a fairly risky shot. Must have pitched round about leg middle. If that was straightened, he could have been in trouble. But he gets 4 runs for it. That's what really counts in the end. That's it. First one round about leg stump, tickled away. He'll be satisfied with 1 because that's a big moment here for Clive Lloyd. His first 100 in the Test match on this, which he now considers his home ground. Off comes the hat, and he's absolutely delighted. His 13th 100 in Test match cricket, made here out of a total of 248 for 7. And getting a really fine hand. Immensely popular character here at Old Trafford, and if any man's to make 100 against England, this is the man at Lancashire they'd like to see do it.
And he's gone. Nice sharp catch there by Graham Gooch. Embry claiming Clive Lloyd's wicket. The great man having made 101. John Embry spun that one possibly out of the bowler's footmarks at the far end. And that was a very sharp catch for Graham Gooch to have made. And it was there to be hit, but Lloyd was able only to get the outside edge onto it. Great moment for Clive Lloyd, and a sad one as well for lots of people. Applause as he leaves the Test arena at Old Trafford, possibly for the last time. He may have to bat again, but what an ornament he's been to the game. Marvellous century in Adelaide, his last appearance in Australia earlier this year, and now here at Old Trafford. a century against England.
A real sharp catch, this. Graham Gooch, this is going like lightning. Wallop. Came just about the right height, but was almost getting too high to make it awkward. Almost seemed as though that was fated to happen, because Clive Lloyd could have been out once or twice. Botham had his moments against him. Seemed right that he should get his 100, and then already gone.
Got to be very close, that. The top spinner, the quicker ball, and I think that would have hit Midland leg, and it was very well pitched up. I don't think there's much doubt about that. I think Joel just read it as being on a different line. In the air and through the hands. Just to brush the fingertips there, Mike Gatting, the fielder. And it is difficult to go either sideways or push off upwards when the earth is soft out there as it is this morning.
And there is the last wicket to John Embry, who's bowled extremely well this morning. And here we see the replay of the last wicket. And a very good catch by Alan Knott. As you'll see, it was a bottom edge.
And wasn't it a pleasant sight to see a spinner in operation out there in the centre at Old Trafford this morning, the fourth day of this match, and to see him bowling so well. John Embry, all 3 wickets to fall. Clive Lloyd, that marvellous 100. Caught Gooch, bowled Embry 101, and then the off-spinner picked up Roberts and Garner. The bowling figures, a great sight there for Dilley, Botham and Embry. Embry today 3 for 10, 3 for 20 in all, and a fine performance. The lead, 110 for West Indies after they'd made that 260 all out. We pick up play now in the England second innings. It's the second ball. Andy Roberts is the bowler. Graham Gooch is taking strike, and with me in the combox is Tony Kosian. Graham Gooch is away. It's the start for England in their chase to wipe off this 110-run deficit. It's a slow outfield, but that'll still beat the fielder. Quarter boycott is off the mark, and England move on to 5. Angled bat there. Gooch is taking strike. Fruit for the sideboard. Little loosening full toss to start with. Gooch now goes to 5.
Well, that's hit nicely through mid-off by Graham Gooch. Always anxious to get on the front foot, even to the quicker bowlers. That's going to beat Haynes. Good, sound, confident shot there from Graham Gooch. And it would be nice for England to get a good solid start here with Rose, Larkins and Gattin coming in at 3, 4 and 5. Still with a gentle breeze to assist him. It's Andy Roberts once more from the Warwick Road end. That's 4 runs. Good shot too. Well, he kicks ball and he squeezed it in that direction and kept it all the way along the ground. Marshall from this Stretford end to Gooch. And that's edged and it's gone. So Gooch goes and Marshall strikes the first blow here. A good bowling change then by Clive Lloyd, because Graham Gooch looked in pretty threatening form there. He's raced away to 26 out of 32. 32 now for one, and goes to a little nick behind, caught by Murray.
Ball just away from him, and in fact the bat a long way away from the body.
And he's bowling out for no ball. Oh dear, what bad luck that was, because there's no question at all that Brian Rose was very comprehensively beaten there, but that front foot had just dropped over the bowling crease, and that's an immense disappointment for this young West Indian quickie. And who got rid of him in the first innings, knocked his about in the first innings, has done it again in the second, but off a no ball. And Brian Rose there beaten by that little bit of extra pace.
But he's got to start and do it all over again. Really, the type of incident which can demoralize any fast bowler. Let's see how Marshall handles it.
Very firmly forward on that occasion. No half measures about that shot. Gets him away nicely with a couple of runs. That's steered away through the slip area again by Boycott. Richards just about pulled that up. In fact, he's been so clever, he's thrown it onto the rope. Well, that's the second time in this match he's tried to do something a little bit fancy. It hasn't worked out. So the grateful Boycott collects 4 more runs.
Significantly no appeal from the bowler there. Batsman on the front foot and perhaps just pitched a bit outside leg stump. Right arm over the wicket to the left-handed batsman, and no appeal from the bowler.
Well, that's where they reckon they can pick up Brian Rose. They're playing a very wide gully there today, but no fourth slip. Even though they tended to attack him on his leg stump in the first innings, they're always trying to slant the ball away outside the off stump. He's not frightened to play his shots. There's the gap down at third man. Slow though the outfield is, no chance of Viv Richards cutting it off. Just 50 needed now to wipe off that 110-run deficit. To Boycott, his first run since lunch. It's always nice to see a battle between batsman and bowler. The bowler here is aiming at Rose's leg stump. Rose has to find some way around it, and that's a nice answer.
That's the average that Boycott's trying to maintain. In fact, I did some figures at the weekend, and he's not averaging anything like that recently. last 32 innings, he's been averaging just over 30.
There's 4 more to add to it. But no fielder at third man has allowed Boycott to profit once again. And 4 more wiped off that deficit.
Not quite the solid defence we've seen earlier in this innings there.
Joel Garner, greeted by a delightful stroke of the pads from Rose. First wicket fell at 32, now 82 for 1, and that half-century partnership came up in 54 minutes.
So England's sailing into slightly calmer waters. They seem to be reasonably untroubled, the runs coming. And perhaps the threat now is big Joel Garner, just walking out of your picture, bottom right, in the fine leg position. But he's likely to come on now for a long spell. And he'll be hard to get away.
Away very nicely down to a long leg. Boycott hurrying back to make it into 2. So it's a piece of good running there. And he's gone. Safely held at slip by Alvin Kallicharran. Brian Rose is out for 32. Never quite at the pitch of it, the outside edge, and went at a nice gentle pace, in fact, to Kallicharran at slip. So Holding strikes his first wicket of the match, in fact, which leaves England now on 86 for 2, with Rose gone for 32. Short, a rare hook shot from Boycott, which will go through for 4. Not often that you see Boycott allowing himself the liberty of the hook shot. This one pitched pretty short. In fact, nearly hit the bowler's toes.
Really plenty of time to see it there for Jeff Boycott. Very rarely also do you see Joel Garner bounce anything as short as that. He really doesn't have to with this height of his, but that was really short.
Nicely away, plenty of time to get up on his toes on the back foot, push it away square on the offside for 2 runs. Pushed away quite firmly through mid-on, a bit more power in Larkin's shot. Backers chasing it, just about to pull it up, and the batsman will go through for 3. Of course, this outfield not yet fully dried out after the drenching it's taken over the first few days of this test match. Marshall from the Warwick Road end to Wayne Larkins. Gets a really nasty one there. That, in fact, wasn't all that short. Managed to make that really fly. It's a lovely shot from Larkins, 4 runs. Perfect illustration there to any young player, how to hit the half volley through mid-off.
Yes, that left leg well across, which has not always been the case so far in this innings with the England batsmen. In fact, both who have been out so far haven't got that close to the ball, but that was perfectly executed. And England now move to 102 for 2. Good start, but it's just about par for the course this series.
Runs off the bat there. Jeffrey Boycott goes now to 33. That was a no ball called by umpire Ken Palmer. It's a nice sight today. A little bit of blue sky. Certainly better than that miserable day on Saturday. But, how thankful one can be that the spectators are getting some play today. To Larkins. Can't have too much sympathy with the bowler there. No third man. And he needs a thick edge to run away between gully and second slip. Third slip, and there's plenty of room for 4 runs. It's a good shot. It's the best time stroke is played so far. Larkins now goes on to 15. A nice shot, a nice rolling of the wrist there just as contact was being made, and those of you who think back a few years will instantly recognise Sonny Ramadan there in the crowd watching the game on the same ground where he played a test match way back in 1950. The match won by England by a massive margin, 202 runs. First sighting of Ramadan and Valentine. Valentine taking 11 wickets in the match, Ramadan 4. And between them they bowled 180 overs in the game. Having mentioned a spinner in the crowd, we now have one on the field. Viv Richards is going to bowl. The intentions were good, but the effect was to give 4 runs to Jeffrey Boycott. It's a good effort for Haynes to get across there. But he just took it away from Fouad Bacchus and didn't actually take the pace off it. It did accelerate it, gave it a bit of a push along. Just 2 more runs added to take England on to 127 for 2. Both those runs scored by Jeffrey Boycott to take him on to 46 not out. Wayne Larkins was going along smoothly, 15 not out. And we pick up play now in the 3rd over after tea. Boycott has picked up 2 more runs, and here's Vivian Richards bowling that 3rd over. In the commentary box we have Ted Dexter, and with him is Jim Laker.
Boycott going through with singles towards yet another 50. He's on 49 now. That's it. Quickly saw the chance of a single. Deft push on the offside and goes through for, in fact, that's his 36th 15 Test match cricket. 159 innings in all, and in actual fact, every 3rd time Jeff Boycott has gone into bat in a Test match, he's got past 50. That's another full toss, and it's got through this time for 4 runs. Well, it could easily have been picked up by Desmond Haynes there. And yet another no ball. And to remark that run. Just can't work that out. He's come to just about the same decision. Those great long legs and a giant stride at point of deliveries. Up to go over the batting crease. And Boycott, again, very quick to see that single. He's run particularly well here today. He's missed few opportunities of snatching the quick single. And it's very much a part of his game these days. And a quick look at the board there, 147 for 2, Boycott 57, 20 for Larkins. So the brief appearance of the spinner, Richards, 7 overs for 15. Now goes back to third slip and gives way to Andy Roberts. Again to Boycott. And another no ball, have to hurry. My word, that was a close call, a very risky run, a very foolish run there off a no ball. Really no need for it at all. Larkins had to fairly scoot to get home. The single to Larkins pedals the 150. And this has been a good performance by England in the second innings, going on to 150 for 2 with Boycott 59 and Larkins now 21. 3 hours 23 minutes for that 150. These two really haven't got the running together in the last few minutes. Larkins a little bit concerned after that last sharp single. Wasn't very happy about setting off. And a whole shoal of no balls coming from Ghana in this spell at the far end.
Misfields help the batting side. 3 to Larkins to take him now on to 24. It was a nice shot. It may not have deserved quite as many runs as it received in the end, but it was firmly hit, nicely timed. So with Andy Roberts off the field, Malcolm Marshall comes back on, bowling from the Stratford end. 13 overs, 1 for 30 so far, Marshall, and he's bowling to Geoffrey Boycott. Lovely shot. The outfield's quick enough for that to go to the boundary. And that may not have been quite a hard volley, but Boycott hit right through it. Bit of foot stamping there from Marshall. That's not an annoyance. He's just trying to loosen up a muscle or two. Needed a quick rub after the first delivery. There's a nice confident air about Geoffrey Boycott now. glorious stroke. Takes him now into the 30s. A splendid stroke that was. Joel Garner's gone off after those 10 overs in the one spell, and here's Michael Holding now, nodding to boycott. That's a very wise call on Larkin's part. Didn't want to know about the chance of 2 runs on Joel Garner's arm. 86 test match wickets for Michael Holding. That includes his 1 for 38 in this innings. 4,844 balls.
And that's the second time recently that Wayne Larkins has tried this airy-fairy slash outside the off stump, and it really isn't called for. England have done so well to get back into this position, and they have this unfortunate reputation this season of collapsing in the middle order, and what they don't want is a wicket thrown away like that.
And he's gone, he's caught behind. Marshall strikes again, as he's done several times in this test match to date, and Wayne Larkins goes for 33. A gentle little outside edge going through to wicketkeeper Murray. He'll be a little bit disappointed because, like Graham Gooch earlier in the day, this wasn't a particularly good shot.
A little bit straighter delivery, I thought, Jim, than Graham Gooch's. It left him just enough, and I think we give every credit there to Malcolm Marshall for producing that delivery this late on in the evening, having had a hard spell in the field.
So he got in away in quite convincing style, and Haynes no chance of stopping that. And 4 runs coming to Michael Gatting. Oh, and a good one. Just about the first time today, in fact, that Boycott has been beaten outside the off stump. And useful ball it was too. 199. Gatting's share is 11 and Boycott's on 80. Marshall going to continue around the wicket to Jeff Boycott. And fairly scampering another good single. Really has run extremely well here today. So the 200 comes up, which gives England an overall lead of 90. 90 ahead now with 7 second innings wickets in hand.
And they stayed in that very comfortable state with just the addition of 1 more run to take them on to 201 for 3 at the close of play. That's a lead of 91, and good innings there from Boycott. He's batted through for just over 70 overs for that 81 not out, but my word, England needed it today. I'm a little disappointed Wayne Larkins didn't go on with it. 33 there. It would have been much better for the England selectors had he been able to kick on past that point. The West Indies bowling, they had to struggle today. Robertson on for 29, off the field for almost the last hour. Michael Holding 1 for 48, and Marshall, the best bowler and the best figures, 2 for 58. Joel Garner couldn't quite get it together today. No wicket for 34 in 19 overs. Viv Richards turned 1 or 2, but not to any great extent. So there's not a great deal of work there for any of the bowlers. It was a nice paced pitch, and Boycott and Rose and Larkins took full advantage of it. Larkins, as I say, a little disappointing, and will be a little disappointed as well. He could have made himself a certainty for future test selection here with a good half century or 60 or 70 today. 91 the lead then for England, and 1 day's play still to go. The odds very much that this game is going to be a draw. We've lost so much time here at Old Trafford. but it's nice now to look back on one of the features of the season for me and for many other people who are fans of West Indian skipper Clive Lloyd. He made his 13th Test century today on what he's come to regard as his home ground.
That's it. First one round about leg stump, tickled away. He'll be satisfied with one because that's a big moment here for Clive Lloyd. His first 100 in the Test match on this, which he now considers his home ground. Off comes the hat, and he's absolutely delighted. His 13th 100 in Test match cricket, made here out of a total of 248 for 7. And getting a really fine hand.
It was a crucial first session, the final morning of this third Cornhill Test match at Old Trafford. England started off at 201 for 3, but it was absolutely vital they didn't lose any early wickets, otherwise the West Indian machine would have been through them for their second win of the series. Well, it was a quiet beginning. There were 16 runs scored in the first 11 overs of the morning. Andy Roberts bowled 5 of those. He had a back strain, and then he left the field. And in that 11th over, we pick up play now. Michael Holding is bowling from the Warwick Road end. He's coming into Geoffrey Boycott, who's on 86. And in the commentary box with me is Mike Smith.
There's a couple of real little looseners from Michael Holding. Oh, that must be close. Yes, I'm afraid he has to go there. He was beaten for pace. Those first 2 were only half rut power. And the third one, he really bent his back. And Boycott was beaten for pace and is out for 86. Well, not the 3-card trick, but the 3-ball trick. The third ball of Michael Holding spell this morning. That's the one England didn't want to lose. They don't want to lose anyone for that matter, but Boycott has played extremely well for his side. And applause there from the West Indian players. And that's Geoffrey Boycott's highest score this summer, 86 in the second innings of this Cornhill Test. Ian Botham is off the mark. There's no one out there at mid-wicket. Haynes is doing the retrieving. That's a good piece of chasing and throwing. 3 to Gatting takes him to 25. And there's Haynes brought into the game again. Good shot. No one's bothering to chase that. No one's bothering to run. Attempted Yorker, fraction over pitched. And it takes Gatting now on to 29. 228 for 4.
And the new ball is due, and quite obviously this could be the vital factor as to whether the West Indies are going to win this match or really put England under any real pressure. Umpire Dickie Bird signals to the scorers, gives the ball to Clive Lloyd, and Joel Garner goes back to his mark.
Just clear of mid-on. That Holding's a good shot there from both of them. And he's been looking the whole time to hook Joel Garner, and if there's a difficult man to pick up, it's got to be Garner. That's short, hit away very powerfully through mid-wicket for 4. Very quickly into position. Excellent shot there from Gatting. Takes him on to 35. And that's the sort of shot that will be certainly worrying them up there on the balcony.
Good Sunday afternoon shot, Jim, I think, that one. As you say, they won't want to see too many of those played this morning.
Determined he was going to play it. I say got appreciably nearer to that. 4 runs down to third man. Let's have another go, he says. And the problem, of course, for Clive Lloyd is that anybody who might just have switched on Andy Roberts had to leave the field after bowling 5 overs here this morning, still suffering from a bad back, and not going to take any further part in this game. And that's, oh, it's a chance. A thick edge, gone for 4. It went like a rocket. Just flicked the outstretched hand there of Gordon Greenidge.
Mike Gatting was very angry with himself because that really wasn't the sort of shot he should have been playing at this stage.
That's short, he's played that well. Really got on top of that and cracked it down square on the leg side. It's 4 more. And I don't think Holding could quite believe it. It bounced like a tennis ball. In fact, it was almost a tennis shot he played at it. 2 fours take Mike Gatting on to 43. And builds up this English lead, which has now gone on to 144. So both of them on 16. Oh, that's a silly, lazy shot. And the umpire's been knocked over it. Don't quite think I've ever seen anything like that on a cricket before. And both of them for the second time, in fact the third time, has got away from it. Fielder running to take the catch, and there was every chance he would have made it. Goes smack into umpire Palmer at square leg.
And that's very interesting, because I think if we see that on the replay, that Derek Murray is shouting for it, and finally I don't think he could have reached it anyway. We know he didn't get there. I believe Derek Parry could have reached it from mid-wicket, but he goes into the umpire and it drops short of Derek Murray.
That's a pure vintage shot there. The over-pitch ball delightfully put through extra cover by both of them. Quite an extraordinary innings here from the England captain.
And you've just mentioned, Jim, this unusual field setting of the fly slip. It's also unusual that the West Indians have fancied Ian Botham to be caught out on the hook and have consistently had the man 3/4 to the boundary behind square leg, and on this occasion there's no one there, and that would have been a simple catch to him earlier in the over.
And that's clipped very firmly off the back foot. Backers giving chase, touch and go. Whether he can pull it up, he just can. It's a lovely bit of fielding. And 3 runs to both of them, and the applause for Failed Bacchus. Hopefully a sprint back there would have beaten most people. That's a no ball, and it's short, and it's powerfully hit this time. And Gatting making absolutely no mistake there. So 267 for 4, Gatting now 47, both them 25, and an over that I'm sure he and both will remember for a long time.
Things a misfield from Failed Bacchus, so it really is all happening out there. Bacchus has pulled off a couple of brilliant stops today, done a lot of chasing, and suddenly a little misfield. And Derek Murray then had to take that return halfway down the pitch. Colin Croft is on the field now.
Joel Garner has gone off, and already with Andy Roberts off the field, Clive Lloyd will not be wanting Joel Garner to stay in the dressing room for very long. As it is, England 275-4, getting pretty well safe now.
Just about the stroke of the day to bring up his half-century. What a nice way to do it. Congratulations from the skipper, and quite right too. Good innings from Mike Gatting. A little bit of a struggle yesterday afternoon, and no wonder. But this morning he's played really well. 51. Both them. Came back a little bit at him, didn't get up all that much. Really giving himself the shuffle across the crease there. The glance around from the non-striker's end is because of the clouds that are coming over the ground. That's the dull, dark cloud that has produced the little chat between the umpires. One of the umpires must have held up the light meter and found that it was down around the 4 mark. They may wait for a bit and just see if the light improves. But it certainly did suddenly close in there with the dark cloud going across the ground. It is a bit lighter away to the left of the commentary box. They'll wait 5 minutes and see what happens. Lunch is in about 9 minutes' time. Ken Palmer's having a look now as to see if the light has improved. thought of using light meters at one stage was almost producing apoplexy in some administrative circles, but to me it's one of the most sensible things they've ever brought in. At least the paying spectator knows then that the umpires have taken the trouble to use a modern instrument, and they've used it in this case to give the England batsman the option of going off, but quite sensibly they're happy to go off just a few minutes early for lunch. Bad light stop play just 6 minutes before lunch, and splendid batting performances there this morning from Mike Gatting, 52 not out, Ian Botham, 34 not out, and Geoffrey Boycott dismissed up there for 86. But just one run added after lunch to take it on to 284 for 4. Here's Michael Holding now. He's coming in to bowl to Ian Botham, and your commentator is Jim Laker.
That one sneaked through, it didn't bounce very high. I think that was the reason that fooled not only Botham but wicket-keeper Murray as well. Any problems for the batsman here? It is one of a little uneven bounce out there. Particularly good delivery there. A little bit of extra bounce and lift. Third man posted now for Gatting, which means it's just a single. With Richards taking some exercise on the boundary edge. Used to winding him in, usually find him close to the wicket that slips. Very seldom does a ball wrap the pads without a shout going up. Whoever seems to be bowling. Is it out this time? Yes. Gatting goes. A second chance there for Alvin Kelly-Turan. It was a good catch because that went very, very quickly. Missed it the first time, but recouped it the second. So the end of a very, very useful innings indeed. Mike Gatting out for 56. Extremely valuable knock. And that surely ensures his place for the remainder of this tour. England 290 for 5 as Mike Gatting departs to an excellent reception.
Well, ironical that the batsman who had it all under control is the man who gets the edge. And also has that bit of bad luck to be scooped up on 4th or 5th attempt.
So Willie to face his first ball. Thankfully gets a sight of it wide outside the off stump. Got the first grin we've seen from Big Joel here today. 1 for 48 now from 29 overs. A very accurate spell indeed. Holding to Botham. And he's given him out LBW this time. Moved well inside, tried to nudge it round on the leg side. Several appeals have been turned down when he's been playing that sort of shot, but this time up went the finger and Botham goes for 35. So two very quick and decisive blows struck here by West Indies. Gatting and Botham following in very quick time. Botham out for 35, LBW to Holding, and England now 290 for 6, which gives them an overall lead of just 180. I think we get much better view of that from the camera at the Warwick Road end. So Willie yet to score, now being joined by another new batsman, Alan Knott, and poor old Alan Knott has been desperately short of runs for him in first-class game of cricket this year. Hope it can get up.
That's a good shot. And perhaps a reasonable example of the point we were making. It's, to my mind, fairly strong around that area. 303 for 6. Up comes the 300 in the 111th over.
Well, frustration for Clive Lloyd in this game. Personal satisfaction too, of course, in his century. But he was denied victory at Lord's, which certainly would have been West Indies. Probably, I'd say, would have been West Indies had it not been for the weather. And here it looked very much as if the West Indies were in the driver's seat when England were out for 150.
It's a fine shot. He's just picking the right one to hit today, Peter Willey. He's gone. Cotton bowled outside edge. Trying to push away on the onside and just got the bat turned a little bit too much. Alan Knott cotton bowled Garner for 6. It's 309 for 7 now.
Well, you couldn't have wanted an easier return catch than that.
Oh, that's a good ball. That was just about the most perfect Yorker you can see.
Still a chance here of a result, but it's receding with every delivery. West Indies need these last 3 wickets very quickly indeed.
I think he got that the first time. That's Gordon Greenwich. Looked to me as though he just reached it.
Gordon Greenwich had one earlier today and certainly got both hands to that. It was low, but it was catchable. Malcolm Marshall, the bowler earlier, and once more putting it down. Not that it's the first time that Marshall has had 100 runs scored off him in tests. This, in fact, is only his 6th test match. Second time. Had 1 for 123 against India, Kanpur, a couple of years ago.
It's a great delivery, that one. It's 4 more. That again is a very good stroke. Frustrating for the bowler, getting past the bat with a very good one, and then that one was not all that short. It was a fine stroke by Willie. 31 overs, 4 maidens, 2 for 109, and it's 316 for 7. And here's Jim Laker.
Kirichi and Garner continue to earn his pay here. Longish spell this. Tucked away by Embry just for a single. Joel Garner now embarking on his 37th over. And some really good figures on this pitch. 2 for 53 at this stage, 2 for 54 with that single. It's the sort of shot that one associates with Peter Willey. Nice, fluent, square drive. Third slip going away once again, down to third man. And a full toss. What can be said over a long period of time, that Ghana offers very few balls which can be safely driven, and a couple there of successive balls. Adding his name to the other good performances by the England batsmen. Already 3 of them have been dismissed in the 30s. So let's hope he can go past that. 32 at the moment, and facing Marshall. Every chance with a shot like that. Well, Peter Willey cricket that. So he really came into prominence playing these flashing cover and off drives, in particularly in the one-day games. Well, great game this cricket. The last time he played in a test match, 100 in each innings. This time he got a naught and spilt 3 catches. That's a very nice shot. Stroked away on the up. Peter Willey with utmost confidence in his partner at the other end. Quite happy to take an easy 2. Just stroked it away. Well, that's also a good shot. Clipped away wide of Minon. It's 2 more. And Edbury going nicely into double figures. A good firm on drive. And quizzical look on Murray's face, because he's not quite sure what Clive intends to bowl. Started out his career as quite a promising leg spinner back in Guyana. Of course, when he came to England, saw the green grassy wickets over here, he changed over and bowled medium pace seam. Quite successfully too, for a fair period of time.
Played in a Gillette Cup final, Jim, when he won the man of the match for his batting, but Lancashire left their opening bowlers out. Peter Lever was one of them, England bowler, and Clive was scheduled to bowl his full quota of overs as a seamer.
Which is first spell of the tour, hasn't bowled before. And, as you can see there, his 10 wickets in test matches have been picked up quite expensively. Oh, that's a lovely pick-up. Full marks to Desmond Haynes late here on the 5th day. Really got down to that extremely well. Haynes has run away to his left. Batsman go through for a quiet single. pretty well on target there for somebody who hasn't previously bowled this year. And enjoyed what he imagines will just be a solitary over.
At tea, England 345 for 7, and a significant performance there from Peter Willey, 37 not out after he'd been dropped early on. Anything could have happened to England had that catch been taken by Gordon Greenidge at second slip. Splendid batting again by Gatting, who went on to 56, Botham to 35. 345 for 7 at tea, and at close of play, the England score had moved along nice and steadily to 391 for 7. There was a stoppage for bad light. Willey is 62 not out, and John Embury, whose highest score in first-class cricket was achieved last year, 91 not out in a match for Middlesex, well, he went on to 28. But a very good effort that from the England batsman, a good all-round effort all the way down the list there. Only one not in double figures, and that was Alan Knott. The West Indian bowlers were hampered by Andy Roberts and his back injury. No wicket for 36 Roberts, and wickets to Holding, 3 for 100, Marshall 2 for 116, Garner 2 for 73, and Richards was called in to bowl 16 overs of off-spin. The others, Clive Lloyd 1 over, Fouad Bacchus 1 over, Desmond Haynes his first over in first-class cricket, and Alvin Kalachurran, one that brought the house down. He's not very high, he's nowhere near as high as Bob Willis, but he was giving a Bob Willis impersonation out there that delighted the crowd who turned up to this game. And the crowd was swelled by those who had their tickets left over from Saturday. A nice gesture that by the Test and County Cricket Board and the ground authorities here. Well, England got out of it here at Old Trafford, and they did it by showing plenty of guts and determination in the second innings. A good batting effort, that. I wonder if what happened to the West Indian pace bowlers here might persuade their selectors for the Test match at the Oval to play Derek Parry, the off-spinner. I'd like to see it happen because, as one keeps saying, it is rather sad to see no spinners in a touring side in England. Some very good performances from England. Those three middle-order batsmen, Brian Rose, Wayne Larkins and Mike Gatting, did particularly well. Rose and Gatting had the highest scores, but I thought Larkins also played well, and it was nice to see Peter Willey at the end gather his confidence with that unbeaten 60. So on to the Oval and Headingley now. West Indies still lead 1-0 in the series, and the man of the match here at Old Trafford, what a lovely moment it was when my fellow commentator Jim Laker made the presentation to Clive Lloyd, who calls Old Trafford his own home ground.